Good morning, everyone. It's your host, Bear Evans, and welcome to the show, Lil Mike Fight Night. Today, we are going to be talking about Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, with the fight getting canceled on, what was it, like July 20th or 21st? July 20th in Arlington, Texas. And then also, what's going on, why it got canceled, what's happening with Mike Tyson, giving you a little bit of insight into fighting as well, too, into the boxing game, how some things might get affected differently with Mike Tyson. And then, basically just continuing the dialogue. If you're like me, we're not in the UFC universe. We're not John Anik. We're not Chael Sonnen. We weren't in the UFC. We don't know Dana White. But we love UFC. Maybe not all our friends are diehard UFC fans. So maybe when we see some news or a fight, we want to continue to talk about it like I do. This to me is that platform. Guys, drop your comments down below. If you disagree with me, agree with me, have a different idea, drop it down below. I read all the comments and I love some of the dialogues and the conversations y'all creating. So with that being said, let's talk about this. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul got canceled because Mike Tyson had a stomach ulcer on the plane tarmac, which caused, the EMS to come there and help him escort him out on a stretcher or a walker, whatever you want to call it. So with that, everyone was saying, Mike Tyson was in the air and they had to turn around the plane. None of that actually happened. And then secondly, everyone was curious, what's going to happen to the July 20th spot? What is Netflix, the promotion company, and then Jake Paul's better promotion company going to do, or most valuable promotions going to do? Are they going to look for a replacement fight? Are they going to reschedule this? Can they reschedule this? How's Mike Tyson's health? So, looking at all this, there's all this talk about Jake Paul versus Logan Paul. That's not happening, guys. That is not the move Netflix wants to make. Netflix wants to make the biggest, most entertaining fight as possible. Whether you agree with this fight, disagree with this fight, want Jake Paul to get knocked out, want Mike Tyson to get knocked out, everyone has eyes on this and is watching it. It's going to be the first free fight of this magnitude ever. If you think about boxing, it's always pay-per-view. Think about UFC, it's always pay-per-view. Yes, there are some free fights, absolutely, but I'm talking about on a scale this big. Netflix is about to change the game because, as you know, the model for fights has to change. Pay-per-views are going, and so they need to figure out a new monetization practices in order to create or supplement the income that is being lost from the pay-per-view sales decline. So, as you know, UFC 302 with Dustin Poirier, Islam Makhachev, banger fight, banger card. Strickland Costa, y'all were so boring. Kevin Holland, amazing armbar, almost snapped Michael's arm. But it got 500,000 pay-per-views, guys. 500,000. I heard Jesse on Fire. His opinion is that 1 in 15 people that are watching the fight actually buy the pay-per-view. I always buy the pay-per-view, guys, even though the UFC is suing me. Not because of this YouTube channel, for something business-related. I can drop a video on that. But anyways, so they are not going to book the fight with the new fighter. They are rescheduling it to November 15th, guys. So they're saying Mike Tyson's going to heal. He has a stomach ulcer. A stomach ulcer online, what I'm reading, takes 1 to 3 months, guys. But you have to remember, just because something heals doesn't mean okay, I'm 100% good to go. Let's talk about my back. I broke a faucet joint, and then I herniated 6 discs, but where I had my L5-S1, I had a broken fractured faucet joint. I got a fusion, right? The doctor's like, oh man, and some people heal as fast as 3 months, and sometimes it can take up to 6 months, and you'll be pain-free, good to go. 8 months later, I'm still freaking partially in bed rest with extreme pain, so it's not like you just heal and you're good to go. A few factors I want to talk about that maybe y'all aren't thinking about, or maybe you don't know about if you're not in the fight game. Mike Tyson's got 3 things going against him for a quick healing, guys. I got to put down that mic for a little bit. This is the second time I filmed this video, so I definitely want to get a little bit high. But Mike Tyson's 58 years old. If you've ever, I know the majority of my audience, is 30 to 40 years old, so all of y'all can relate except for the one person who is under 18 who watches this video. So, when you were 15 to 22 years old, do you remember how you could just get slam drunk and then you can go and do your job in the morning, whether it's manual labor, whether it's your first fast food job, or whether you're a little bit older now and you're, you know, in the oil field or doing management. No matter how many beers you had with the boys the night before or with the girls, you wake up in the morning, you're going to work 5 o'clock, 6 a.m., 5 a.m., does not matter, still going to the gym. I would even go to the gym drunk, guys, when I was younger. Now at 30, I have 3 beers. My whole day's ruined the next day, guys, my whole day. Now I can't even drink beer because, you know, the alcohol is from like sugars and yeast and crap like that. So now it's like I only have to drink liquors, and it still just does not. I can feel it when I drink. It affects my sleep. Going on a tangent here. So yeah, his age, he's 58. He's not going to heal as fast. And everyone's like, oh, he's on PEDs. Guys, testosterone and DECA, Norangolone, or DECA is what a lot of people call it. That's probably what Mike Tyson's on because he's on TRT. That's not going to help heal him. He is on MK667 possibly. When I look at Mike Tyson's body, he retains a lot of water, and he has a little bit of stomach extension. Distension. If you look before, he used to have a really lean, kind of tapered stomach, but now, you know, he's kind of got that popped out with abs look. Yes, he does have belly fat. That's not what I'm talking about. I spent a lot of time before my car accident, my 18-wheeler wreck and all that as a bodybuilder, and also I was a personal trainer. I coached people who took anabolic steroids and substances like that. I have a little bit of an eye. I'm not saying I'm a professional in any ways, but I believe I'm more of a professional than 99% of y'all looking at these things. So Mike Tyson most likely is, though, on a little bit of either a growth hormone secretagogue or on growth hormone, just GH straight up. He can't afford it. It is like the most expensive thing ever. So with that, it does heal a little bit of your stomach ulcer, but it's not like it's going to change it overnight. And if y'all are on testosterone, like TRT, I'm definitely on testosterone, and it doesn't make me heal overnight. I've hurt like my elbow before. I get bumps and bruises, and I've been on MK667 on TRT. And so yes, it says online that those things can help. Growth hormones can help with the stomach ulcers, but it's not like a foolproof thing. The third thing, guys, is he is in fight camp. So sorry about this, guys. I'm just trying to do like 6 things in one. I want to look at a little bit stoned before my therapy and my boxing right now, and I want to give this video out to y'all. So the next thing is he is in fight camp, guys. And if you've never been in fight camp, it is so stressful. It is basically like being in fight or flight all the time. Like, you can be chill. That's why I really appreciate Sean O'Malley. It's always like zen. But imagine you just laying on the couch, you're with your wife, you're with your son, you know, your baby's sleeping, having a good time, your wife, you're watching a movie, and all of a sudden you're like, you imagine yourself in the cage and your heart rate's like, so it's like, it's literally like you wake up in the morning and you're brushing your teeth, maybe you say your prayer, do a little bit of meditation, having a good day, you're driving, all of a sudden, oh shit, I'm gonna fight this thing. So it's fight or flight, you're fighting that. Literally, everyone's different. Some people, it's when they start fight camp. Some people, it's like a month out. Some people, it's 1 week out. But no matter what, they get that. Unless you are like, there's very few people who can train that away, but I'm telling you, every person, pro to not pro, gets like that. And for me, I started getting like that a month out from my last fight, and which is not anything bad, but what I'm trying to say is like you're putting a lot of stress on your body. And your body, you know, your sympathetic nervous system doesn't know the difference between, you know, physical and mental stress. So those are things you have to think about. So with all that put together, it really goes against them. And I'll give you all an example, guys. You're like, oh, he hasn't fought yet. For my non-fighting friends and viewers, hopefully I can give you all some insight. My last fight was July 15th, 2023, right? And my opponent canceled on me 2 hours before the fight, guys. It was worse than getting cheated on. It was the worst day of my life. Imagine, okay, before I get into this, I'm trying to explain fight camp to y'all, sorry. So, with fight camp, even though I didn't fight someone, to get into that peak physical shape, when you're fighting, your heart rate is at HR is maxed out the whole time. So I'm talking about your heart rate is in the 200s from starting the fight to finish the fight. It is the hardest physical sport, whether it is wrestling, Muay Thai, MMA, boxing, it is effing hard, and your heart rate is up here. In order to train for that, not only just the type of cardio do you have to do it, it's not just jogging, it is like full on sprinting as fast as you freaking can, getting that heart rate up for as long as you can. You are sparring all the time. I have my, let me pull this up. This was my adjusted fight camp for my back, for my disability, and because I am actually handicapped, but I still fought for USA Boxing as an amateur. But, so let's see right here. This is not sparring as often, but so, let's see, spar, so middleweight, heavyweight, spar, heavyweight, spar, slow with heavyweight, little codes I have. So, spar, and then spar, and spar. So basically, we're doing like, I was sparring twice a week in fight camp, okay? I was sparring twice a week, and I was sparring with people a lot heavier than me. And on some of them, let me think. No, you know, most of the time though, it was people like giving me pretty good work. Like we weren't going balls to the walls, and but we were going, you know, probably 70% pace. And now on one of the heavyweights during like the last week of my fight camp, huge guy. Like I'm not a heavyweight whatsoever. I was fighting at what the heck was I fighting at? I was fighting at 150. So in amateurs, in a smoker, whatever you fight at, you can weigh 10 pounds above it. So I weighed in at 160, and that was extremely difficult for me. I walk around at about 170, and normally I'd be a little bit heavier, but during that fight camp, not even sparring, I snapped my elbow tendon, and I also got a dislocated rib from overuse. What I believe it was, is how it became dislocated, is I got such bad like knots into my serratus overworking that popped it out. It wasn't from actually getting hit in my ribs. I really have never been hit in my ribs. I've only been hit in my sternum. And because of that, my fight camp took me like 3 months to heal afterwards. And I didn't get injured from sparring. I got injured from just overtraining and just really trying to get into that shape. So with all that being said, Mike Tyson's got a lot of things going against him. I don't think 3 months is enough time for him to overcome all that and to be in his peak shape for his age and his weight class. So with all that being said, guys, what do you think? Do you think Mike Tyson is going to be able to be in at least as good a shape in some of the training clips he's posted by November? Who do you think's going to win? Jake Paul or Mike Tyson? Before he had the health injury, I was really leaning on Mike Tyson. I'm very scared of an older man getting hit in the head who's taken a lot of damage by someone like Jake Paul with a great right hand. I would be terrified to see what that does to him, but I know if Mike Tyson landed on him, any one of those those hooks, how he rolls and boom, 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 like he would, any one of those, Mike Tyson, like it would kill him. And because in my personal opinion, watching his fight training, he could beat any amateur Golden Glove Texas boxer hands down. Get at me. And you may disagree with me, guys, sorry, but I'm saying everyone at Randazzo's boxing gym and the training footage that I saw Mike Tyson posting before the injury, he could beat every guy at my boxing gym. He would wipe the floors with me, and I'm in the prime of my life, and I've been boxing for like probably 3 years now, but now he's got that injury. And Mike Tyson's not fighting amateur boxers. He's fighting Jake Paul, which, believe it or not, is actually pretty decent at boxing. And so with all that being said, guys, thank you all so much for the support. I'm out. Peace.